Markets are shaking, oil spiking, and the Fed just dropped the bomb. Want to know which stocks are about to explode and how to trade this chaos? Smash that like button and stick with me because I'm giving you guys the ultimate trading playbook for this week. And stick to the end where I'm giving you guys stocks to trade so you can remain profitable in this uncertain market. So let's dive into the last 24 hours. Things are heating up. The Federal Reserve held rates steady at 4.25 to 4.5% yesterday, but the real kicker was their hawkish vibe. The Fed's new projections cut 2025 growth to 1.4% from 1.7% and bumped inflation to 3% from 2.7%, citing Trump's tariffs and Middle East chaos. So markets barely budged, with the Dow down 0.1%, S&P down 0.03%, and the Nasdaq up 0.13%. We do see a little bit of volatility, and where it's spiking, the VIX hit 21.6, but we are going down a little bit more. So the Iran and Israel conflict is still raging, with oil jumping to $76 a barrel after Trump's latest jab at the Iran's leader, calling him an easy target, which is kind of insane. So energy stocks like ExxonMobil rallied, with defense names like Raytheon RTX held steady despite ceasefire chatter. We might have a ceasefire or we might have a faster war. We also see gold hitting near 3,400 and Circle CRCL soared 15% after a Senate bill to regulate stablecoins passed. Boosting crypto sentiment, markets are closed today for Juneteenth, so Friday's open is going to be wild, and keep CRCL on your radar for that. So options can make you a lot of money, no matter if you're experienced or just starting out. My course is for anyone trying to learn more about options and finally become profitable. It has strategies to help you never lose money and learn everything you need to know. First link in the description. And we are finally coming out with a website so like-minded investors and small businesses can share ideas, and I'll be giving out plays early on that site, so stay tuned for that coming out soon. So what's the deal for the US stock market this week? It's a short one with markets closed today, but here's what to watch for tomorrow and potentially next week. So Iran and Israel conflict, Trump's escalating rhetoric, and US military moves in Middle East are keeping oil volatile. If Iran retaliates, oil could push $80 plus, lifting energy stocks, but slamming consumer names. Ceasefire talks, per Trump's White House comments, could cool things off, so stay updated. I'm posting YouTube shorts to keep you guys updated as news comes out, so subscribe. Let us get to 500 subs. Casualties, as of June 18th, Iran reported 239 civilians and 126 security personnel killed, while Israel reported 24 civilian deaths and nearly 600 injuries since the conflict started. So the situation remains volatile, with both sides escalating attacks and the US weighing potential involvement amid the diplomatic tensions. So keep that in mind overall, because this war is changing the market a little bit, but honestly, man, it's kind of shaking some things off. So back to the Federal Reserve, so Fed fallout. Jerome's hawkish tone yesterday, saying they'll wait on tariff and oil price impacts, has traders rethinking rate cuts. Only 59% now expect a 25 basis point cut by September. Tech and growth stocks could face pressure if yields climb further. 10-year treasury is at 4.38% right now. Honestly, I feel like Jerome just keeps on using the excuses of the new things coming out, not to cut rates. So keep that in mind overall. But sooner or later, I think we have a few more months left until President Trump announces the new Fed chair, and maybe we might see rate cuts. Honestly, especially if President Trump himself is appointing him, especially with a lot of beef. Literally, in the morning, Trump was shooting shots at Jerome, saying that he won't cut rates and stuff like that. Honestly, just a back and forth beef still going on. So some more updates with Trump tariffs. You know, a lot of people has been overlooking the tariffs overall, especially with the war, but it is still going on. So tariff letters are still looming, potentially hitting autos, pharma, or chips. This could dent stocks like Ford or Intel, but a US-China deal might lift Tesla or Apple. Check Truth Social for Trump's next move. Stay updated, honestly. Just in general, just stay updated, man. So let's talk about the stock calendar. So economic data, tomorrow's PPI jobless claims and housing starts, delayed for Juneteenth, could move markets. Weak data might boost rate cut hopes, while strong numbers could spark inflation fears, especially with oil's rise. The S&P 500 is at 5980, but RBC warns of a 20% drop to 4,800 to 5,200 is possible if oil spikes or tariffs hit hard. Stay nimble and honestly, man, be willing to adjust no matter what. That being said, man, let's get to some supports and resistance for certain stocks before we get to the top stocks to trade and some plays to make. So first off, I want to look at AMD. It is moving pretty strong, but been moving up and down. not really making any new highs, not really making new lows. So watch that 125.2 to the downside. And if we break below that, we might be able to see a bigger sell wall. And then to the upside, look at that 130. If you can finally break above that 130, look at like 131.5, 134, and that 135 level for AMD overall. So keep that one on your radar. Next one is going to be Boeing. We did have a big sell off, some bad news overall. So look at that 197 level. If we break below that, look at 195, 193, and that 190 level. To the upside, if we can break above that 203 level, look at that 205 and then that 207.8 level next for Boeing. And then all the way up, if we do start making a break even higher, look at that 216.7 and then all the way up to like 225 for Boeing overall. Have your patience with this one. This one moves pretty volatile. You can make a decent amount of money. The deltas look pretty good for the price. Next one is going to be SPY. First level to the upside, if we do start breaking up, look at that 601, then that 603.5, 605, 612.3 is the highs, and then all the way up to like 620 to 625 if we do start breaking up. And then to the downside, look at that 596. If we break below that, look at 594, 591.5, and then that 590 level. Below that, look at 585. Below that for the SPY. For Apple, man, we have been breaking down, constant downward trend, make a decent amount of money to the downside, especially if we don't get any good news. We have been getting some news with like AI, implementing AI and stuff like that, especially with Alibaba. But honestly, didn't really move the stock too much. So to the downside, look at that 195, 194.5, 193.5, and that 190 level for Apple. We might even break down to like the 80s. So keep that in mind. To the upside, man, watch that 200. We can finally break above that 200. Look at 205.3 and that 213.3. Next is going to be NVIDIA. Has been moving pretty strong, but kind of just up and down right now. We did make a big break on Monday, but honestly, after that, we haven't really made any good levels. To the upside, look at that 145.5. We can break above that. Look at the highs of 146, 146.5, and that 150 level for NVIDIA. To the downside, look at that 143.5. 140 is going to be key. And then below that, look at like 137.5 and then 133.5 to the downside for NVIDIA. Have your patience with this one. Wait to see a clear break and then play that. Next one is going to be Palantir. We have been looking pretty okay, but look at that 140, past that 141.5, 142.8, that 145 level for Palantir. To the downside, look at that 135, 133.5, 132.5, and that 130 level to the downside for Palantir. Next one is going to be Tesla. Honestly, still moving up and down. So look at the range between that 313.5 and that 334. You make a break above or below one of these levels, we can go up or down. All right, let's talk about some top stocks to trade. First one is going to be ExxonMobil. This is going to move with oil prices. You can make a decent amount of money. Oil is climbing, and if oil climbs, you can play to the upside, and then you can also sell it off once oil sells off. Oil is very volatile, so you can play it up or down for this one. Next one is going to be RTX. RTX looking pretty decent, but not really. Seem like we're getting a little bit of a sell. So if we do get some better news, you can play a little put option, play it to the downside, all the way down to like that 140 to 139 level. But that's only if we get good news overall with the war. If not, this can go back up, break up, fill some gaps at 150. So defense stocks are swinging on conflict news. So keep that in mind overall. Next one's going to be NVIDIA. Like I said before, if you can make a break up or down, you can make a decent amount of money. People are saying this stock can get to like 150 to 160 soon. So keep upside on your radar. But then if we make a bigger sell overall with overall tech and stuff like that, you can play NVIDIA to the downside. It has a big potential of going to the downside as well, and you can make a decent amount of money. Next one is going to be Palantir. Honestly, same thing. If you can make a break up or down, you can make money both ways. GLD, just because gold prices are swinging a lot with the news, you have some gaps to fill up and down. So these are pretty decent as well. And then AMD, just because we made a recent breakup. So you can either play to the downside and or if we see another rally come, you can make a decent amount of money to the upside. With that being said, though, man, stay alert, stay tuned. That's your trading plan for the day. Energy, defense, and gold are in play, but keep those stops tight. This market is a wild ride. Drop your top stock picks in the comments. Smash that subscribe button. Let's get to 500 subs, and let's stack those gains when market reopens tomorrow. See you guys then. Let's get this bread. Peace out.